Morning. It is 6 o'clock in the morning. I slept really well. I've just come down to the peg, thrown a couple of handfuls of sweet corn in. Today I'm going to flip between sweet corn and maggot. Maybe if I can hook a bigger roach, maybe even a little carp. If there's little carp in there. There's roach and perch in there. Who knows what's in there, mate? Let's have a look, see what we can get. I haven't even finished my morning coffee. Got a little perch on the bank. A little bit bigger, mate. I think I'm going to make another cup of coffee. I put a bit of sweet corn on there for about 10-15 minutes. I had one little tap. It's a difficult choice, isn't it? Do I persevere with the sweet corn in the hope of catching one fish all day that might be bigger? Or am I quite happy pulling these little tinkers out? Because I am quite happy pulling these little tinkers out. Going through the smaller ones, sooner or later I'm about to get a bigger one. If not, that's okay. Some people watching this probably think, what is the point in getting bivvied up for days just to do a bit of poxy float fishing? I didn't know what fish were in the lake, and I really like float fishing, mate. I've never done like fishing matches. We've had a few sort of memorial fishing matches in memory of my dad. I've never done a match, but I love it, mate. It just reminds me of being a little kid, fishing the Thames with my old man. It's one of the purest forms of fishing. Float fishing with maggots, you're sort of targeting everything. It's almost like you're attempting to do a fish survey. What fish live in that body of water? All UK freshwater species of fish will go for maggot. They don't all prefer maggot, but they will all go for maggot. Not just that, I've used this couple of days as a bit of a retreat. I jumped on the scales the other day, really didn't like what I saw. Ah, pretty fat. Nearly 16.5 stone. So, over the next couple of days, I'm going to be fasting. I'm going to be eating one meal a day, some mackerel, some salad and some fruit. Apart from that, I'm just going to be drinking black coffee and drinking water. Also, as of lunchtime yesterday, I haven't had any cigarettes. Been vaping. I've been smoking a lot for the last few months, and I really need to get off the cigarettes. And I'm thinking if I get a few days under my belt in an environment where it's a bit easier not to smoke, and if I do get ratty because I haven't had a cigarette, I'm outside and I'm in my happy place. I'm not going to upset anyone. There's no one to aggravate me. And why not, mate? You like this cup, by the way? Cheers, JB. Yeah, mate, just pulling out little perch. Let's have another.
1, 2, 3, go!
The first roach of the day. I would imagine it's quite hard to be a roach surrounded by so many perch, because you'll get munched up, mate. New species. We've got ourselves a lovely rudd. That is class, mate. It is 8 o'clock in the morning. This morning I have had roach, rudd and perch. I've decided to put a bit of sweet corn on there. I've thrown a few handfuls of sweet corn in there. I've got my bait quite low. I don't know whether I want to put the bait hard on the bottom, because I would imagine it's very, very weedy, and I'm not confident I'm going to get it all the way to the bottom. It's just going to get snagged on the way. So I'm going to leave it for 10-15 minutes. If I don't get a bite, maybe I'll drop it down a little bit. I might put it on the bottom just to see. Why not, eh? Catch a bigger roach, or a tench maybe, or a carp, which would be mega. The sun has come up, mate, and it is beautiful. Did 45 minutes on the sweet corn, didn't even get a tap. Put 3 red maggots on. Look who joined the party. I hooked into another rudd, and when I lifted him out of the water, he shook himself off. And as a result of that, I've gone on to microbarb size 14. They're Drenham red maggot hooks. Stuck a couple of red maggots on there. And another perch. See the kingfisher? Class, mate. Another little roach. Knocking off all the species. I'm going to fish on the float rod till about midday, and then I'm going to get the rake in here again, and I'm going to rake out this little bit here just to give me a bit more of a area to fish. Let's get the rod back in the water, boy. Got myself an absolutely stunning little rod. Colours on that, mate. I just had another roach, quite slimy. I don't know if they've hybridised with like bream in there, or and they're very small. Maybe they're not roach. Also, there are carp in here, and one's just jumped on the far bank and made a massive splash. Yeah, there's carp in here, mate. At least one of them. Or rather, I am confident that there are some big fish in here. Sitting here like an old lady. Got my little blanket. Stop my legs getting wet from all the fish I'm catching. Got my old man fishing reel. I haven't had anything to eat since lunchtime yesterday. It's coming up to 9 o'clock in the morning. I'll eat in 4 or 5 hours time. I'll have one big meal and then I'm going to fast until tomorrow again. And also, I've nearly done 24 hours cigarette free. Yeah, I'm vaping like a choo-choo train, but another step closer. My little fishing retreat. Another beautiful rod. I'm now fishing about 2 inches over depth, making sure that I'm right on the bottom, chucking maggots in there rather than fishing through the layers in the water. Thinking a little while ago, I haven't actually brought any weed up on my line for a little while, so if there is weed down there, I'm luckily staying away from it. I mean, it's not like I'm blanking, doing all right. This whole series of videos is just going to be me hauling out perch after perch after perch, and I'm fine with that. Hoping for a tench, or a big rudd, or a big roach, or a carp. But I'll happily sit here pulling out perch, mate. I'll happily sit here just catching fish. All on my own private little lake. Brilliant, mate. And I've got lunch to look forward to. I have been wondering what to title this video, what to call this lake. I can't call the lake the name of the lake, or the name of the farm. I've been asked not to disclose where it is exactly. Not for now, anyway. So I might just call it the Cambridge Perch Lake. But then there might be a perch lake in Cambridge already. I don't know. That's the size of that dragonfly. The poor lad took a bit of a spill and unhooked himself. Something has got to be giving birth to all these little perch. Tell your mama to come and see me, eh? Go tell your mum. Let's get Mrs. Perch on the bank. She loves it, boy. It's the biggest roach I've had so far. They're a bit slimier than normal. I don't know if they're eyed. If you're watching this and you know if that's definitely a roach, I think it is. Give us a comment. Let me know what you think. I'm pretty sure it's a roach. The only thing that's throwing me is the amount of slime that's on it. I don't know if that's something to do with the water. The other fish haven't been like it. In my experience, bream are normally very slimy. Eyed can be quite slimy. Obviously catfish, but I don't imagine there's any cats in there. Let me know what you think. It is 11:30 in the morning. I've brought the rod in. I'm going to get the rake out again. I'm going to rake this out here so that I've got a bit more space to float fish in here. It'd be a great opportunity to stick my phone on the tripod and do a time lapse, you know, me raking, whatever. But instead of doing that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my phone on charge and just get grafting for a couple of hours. My dinner: a tin of mackerel, avocado, a chicken and bacon salad, a vitamin water drink, half a punnet of blueberries, and 5 or 6 flat peaches, or whatever these are. Bon appetit. What do you reckon of that then? I've raked it out loads. I'd love to come back here with a carp rod, but I've only heard one big fish splash today, and I never saw it. I'm confident it was a carp, but I didn't see it. Get out of there. And then, bosh. See if we can get a perch on the bank. Pull around my handle. What you got there, boy?
Probably the biggest one I've had out of here, mate. He's no whopper, but probably the biggest one I've had so far. Very pretty. Off you go, mate. One after the other, mate. Oh. 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 It's a rudd. Wicked. Mate. Was just adjusting my line. So cool. Every single cast, mate, I've caught my fair share of perch and roach today. Had some lovely rudd today. They're the biggest fish I've had out of here, the rudd. I know there's at least one bigger, but I also know that the best way to target large carp isn't necessarily to go out and stick 3 red maggots on a size 14 or 16 hook or a single piece of sweet corn. That's not to say you can't catch them like that. You can, but that's not the way that I would target. I'll be back to this lake. How many rods will I put out? I'm assuming I can come back. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't have me back. But who knows? When I tell him that it's rammed full of fish, maybe the next time I come back here it'll be a day ticket water again. There's swims that are dug out. It's clearly been more than just family fishery before. That's an assumption. I'll sit here for a couple of hours and then I'll wrap it up for the evening. Go and get in my bivvy, listen to a podcast or something.
It is coming up to 9 o'clock in the evening. I sat there for a good few hours, fishing sweet corn, feeding corn. There was a couple of times where a fish came past and there was, you know, small silt bubbles and that coming up in a travelling line, which I'm assuming is a fish with its face down, grubbing around in the silt. I'm thinking tench, potential carp, mate, probably tench. I'm going to get my head down in a minute, get up in the morning, do a little bit more fishing and then shoot off. I will be back here. It's a bit of a drive for me. That's why I brought my bivvy. And the next time I come here, I'll bring my bite alarms with me. Target some carp or some tench. I've only seen the one splash. I can't imagine there's many in here, but then there might be. But I've had a great time, mate. A little bit more fishing to do in the morning, and then I'll be wrapping up. Till then, get myself all snuggly in my bivvy bed. It's really comfortable, mate. Yeah, I'm going to bed. Night. Bush.